Okay, welcome everyone. Today we have with us Rudrani, a poet, a journalist, and a fearless writer whose debut poetry collection is Bleeding Bangles, is a bold stand against patriarchy. Through her words, she challenges norms, breaks barriers, and sparks conversation that matters. Rudrani, we are thrilled to have you here with us. And I would love to ask you a few questions which we all want to know. And yes, so to start with, please tell us, please give us some and share your story with us.
Um, First of all, thank you so much for having me. Um,
Much
yeah,
for
as you said, it's my debut book, so yeah, it's a big deal for me.
yes,
Since you asked my story, I mean, it's a it's a very vague question. That is very. I have always found this question, mind-boggling because I don't know what to answer.
yes.
Uh, Still, to sum it up, I'll say. Mm, I mean, I'm not just, a person, with one identity. I'm a person with multiple identities. And so are, other person also.
Yeah.
To start with, I am a woman from a small town in Bihar who somehow managed to get to the center of India quite literally by, getting into Delhi University for my education and all. And then I'm a sister, I'm a daughter, I'm a friend, and everything has different roles to play. On the other hand, I'm a poet, as you said, with my debut book out. And I'm a journalist with 6 years of experience in a digital media company that was completely women oriented, where I wrote more than 1,000 articles on gender issues. And yeah, I have master's degree in English literature and uh, yeah, and most probably in future will have a doctorate in it.
Wow. That's
Okay.
so That's so interesting because coming from a small town and achieving what you have achieved, it's really an inspiration for a lot of us because we all want to achieve certain things in our life and we are also facing similar issues that you do. So it's great. And I want to ask Bleeding Bangles. It's such an intriguing title. What is the story behind that? How did you come up with that?
Uh, okay. So let me first tell you that here I'm just, while writing this book, I was just a woman in this, patriarchal society who was shadowed by patriarchy since childhood. And the patriarchy that has completely wrenched away my right to live happily and peacefully. And so it was my aim to help everyone out there to spot that shadow and not let that pass on. Only then can we create a society where women too can live freely and happily like any other human being, in our democratic country. Mm, So, with that mindset, I started writing. Actually, if you ask me the story of Bleeding Bangles, it should go back to the time when I actually started writing. I was never confident about writing. I always thought that people will, pass, taunts that writing is just hobby. Why are you practicing it apart from your academics? So I never revealed that I wanted to write, that I used to write. But then when I learned things like feminism, when I studied authors that talked about women's issues, and I also learned about the elephant in the room, patriarchy.
Yeah.
I reflected back, on my life, and I saw nothing that was relatable to feminism. And most of the instances of my childhood was related to what patriarchy would like it to be. So that's how the the base of being a activist come writer started. I started writing the emotions, the complex emotions of anguish, guilt, anger, that I could not express to anyone. I started writing in words, and words, specifically poetry, because poetry uses metaphors and incomplete sentences, so that allows people to address the gap in language, in emotions. So that's why I wrote poetry. And slowly and gradually, I wrote a lot of poetries because I had a lot of things to say. And then I found this collection of poetries, and then I took the leap and published this Bleeding Bangles. But yeah, just publishing the book and writing and all was not the only reason why I went for Bleeding Bangles, a book about women's oppression and
Mm.
patriarchy as my debut, which could have
Yeah.
been, a lot of, a lot more controversial.
Yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. And as you said, like it might not be perceived in a way when you are writing something. When you come from a certain background, it might not be welcomed. It might be seen as a hobby. So now that you have proven yourself, and now that you have written a book, and I want to ask, how has this book been received so far? Any reviews and reactions that you have gotten that really stood up to you and you were like, yes, I'm making a change?
Yeah, I mean, reviews till now have been good. People are resonating with the message that I want to give through the book, and they're also sort of caught up with the emotionally charged and honest poetry. That is what they, call them. And
Right.
the most favorite, of all the reviews is the one which looked at my book through the lens of feminist literature. I mean, I'm a student of literature, and it was truly an honor to be, considered as a part of feminist literature. So yeah, that has been the major good reviews, but also I had a negative review. Many people said that the language is very, complex. People have to, open dictionaries to understand what is written. So I accepted that criticism because, of course, I want the book to be read by masses, as many people as possible. So I will try my best that my next ventures has, simple language.
Absolutely. But I would say you should take it as a compliment, considering, as you said, you come from a small town, and I have faced this issue that when I was. I also come from a small town, so when I was getting into this big, town, and when you are getting into this whole you're becoming part of the mass, you feel very underconfident, and you doubt yourself. So I want to ask, like, when you were writing this, uh, did you felt doubt, self doubt, for even a single moment? And if so, how did you overcome that?
Yeah, I did feel self-doubt because I'm surrounded with people who consider this feminism and talking about equality as useless.
Yeah.
It is not going to take you anywhere. It is a small town. यहाँ पे कौन सुनेगा? You cannot change the society alone. All this happens. So it was difficult for me to always uh, talk about uh, women empowerment. Even in my studies, even in my uh, job, journalism, and my book also. But then I had this determination in my mind that not today, then at least tomorrow, the small town too will understand where this feminism is coming from. Because my book clearly reflects that patriarchy is not, something that comes out of nowhere. It has existed for years and years and years. And it is with every woman and since their childhood. So
Yeah.
when one reads the poetry, they will face the reality. That reality, which they also know, but they don't want to accept. So that's how I overcame my self doubt. That even, people might not understand today, but if I recite the poetries to them and
Hmm.
I translate it to them, then obviously they will understand somewhere in their heart, even though they will say कि ये क्या लिख रही हो, ये सब क्यों लिख रही हो, but they know that it is happening and they have to acknowledge it.
Yes, I want to ask on that note, considering patriarchy is something is a huge issue, and I feel like it is an issue. I would say it has more or less combined the women and the men.
Yeah.
Both genders are involved in this. So I would want to say, even when we are talking about patriarchy and feminism, we talk about giving more rights to women and all that, but at the end of the day we face a lot of issues when we are talking about stuff like that. It's There are few women who then comes with the notion, because they have faced so much oppression that they can't tell the difference between what's right and wrong. So if have you faced that, and have you gone through that, and did that something that you have also incorporated in the poetry and book? I would love to know that.
Yeah, actually, that point you said, they face so much oppression that they forget what is right and wrong.
Yeah.
That that is very, very much related to my life. Um, uh, when I was small, whatever happened with me, I did not know what is right, what is wrong, of course. But when I, studied about things, I understood what is right and what is wrong. And still, strangely, many women around me had, similar experiences in their life, but no one was ready to talk about it. And I could not understand why, because if women talk about the oppression they are facing, there will be empathy. And empathy will lead to sisterhood. And sisterhood, hands down, is the biggest weapon for women empowerment. But then, no, women are not ready to talk about it. Why? Because they don't know whether it is right to talk about it or not. Because they are, as I wrote in the book also, artwork of patriarchy.
Yeah.
Because they are made as per the patriarchal perception, and that's why they are not ready to question it.
Hmm.
Okay, and even if they are willing to question it, they are afraid that people will criticize them for sort of uh, uh, be victim blaming. So they are afraid of that, and that's why uh, when it comes to my poetry, the difference between right and wrong is a completely showed, because it is a Bildungsroman narrative. A girl grows up, faces things, and later realizes that everything was wrong, and she has to fight back.
Yeah.
So that's how. Yeah, although I did not mention men in my book, because I am a woman and I wanted to do justice to my gender.
Yeah.
Maybe if I would have been a man, I would have written about men too.
Yeah, maybe. And also, I feel like, as I said, like patriarchy is something that's so deep rooted that no particular gender can even. Some people are conditioned that way, so they don't even know what they are doing wrong. They think that's their right. So other than that, I would love to say, like, as you shared your background, which really intriguing for me, that you have come from a small town, you went to Delhi University, and so what would you say that one thing that every woman should do in their life so that they can, because everyone faces so much oppression, and we feel we self doubt is something that's so deep rooted in us, that, and also I feel like women have this notion of you know like we have a notion of like self doubting ourselves. At the same time, we love to like we make ourselves small, so at the end of the day, whatever we are doing, we feel we are not enough. So I want to ask you this, that whoever is watching this, when they are when like what would you suggest them, like what should be the process they should go through, and if they're going through self doubt and questioning themselves in whatever life lesson they are going through, how would you tell them, like, this is something that's part of your life, but how to deal with that?
Okay, so this is quite a big question. Uh, okay, so the one
I mean,
thing
like,
I would,
I wanted to ask you this question, so which is why I thought like this would be relevant.
no, no, it's okay. I really like the question because, yeah, of course. Um, okay, the one thing that I would want women to always remember or always, follow is, just forget about blind faith. Whatever the customs say, whatever parents say. I'm not saying that don't obey your parents, but understand that why certain things are happening, why there is a difference between how I am being treated and how others are being treated, right? So that is the blind faith is the first thing that I would suggest that every woman should remove, forget, because Indian traditions have a lot of customs, a lot of beliefs that uh, put women down, and holding on to those beliefs, patriarchy just corroborates it, its system. So blind faith is the first thing, and then what is your next question?
What would you suggest them how to overcome that?
Yeah, right. So now, if they are over the blind faith, uh, the next thing they have to do is education. Education is a must. Uh, See, there's a process. If a woman, a girl, let's start with the girl. If a girl is told by her parents that she should not study, rather she should get married, she should question that why should I get married? Why is my brother not getting married? Or why are other men in her, colony, society, whatever, are not getting married? Why, even though yet they have, crossed, their age of 18, 20, whatever, and they are not married? This is the first question they must ask. And the second thing is education. They must ask them the right for education, even though they, might not know what education is. But it is not something hidden. It is obvious, because if not her, someone around her will go for education. So
Yeah,
that's
that's
how that's how she will understand, no, I mean, break the blind belief and take the next step. And now education does not mean, going into school and just understanding nothing and just coming back to the cycle, because that is a kind of policy in Bihar. Because women are allowed free education in return or cycle, just to increase the female literacy rates.
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
doesn't make
That's
sense.
so,
I mean,
so
if
correct.
women are going to school, they have to study,
Mm.
right? And then there is sex education in
Yes,
every school from initial stage itself. Sex education must be implemented because sexual harassment does not see age. It affects everyone,
yes.
from 3 year 2 year old to 60,
So on and
50.
so forth. Yes,
Yeah.
that's so true and that's so correct. Coming back to the topic, I would say, considering I wanted to ask you about your next, what's up there next, and I would like to tell whoever has joined, Rudrani is coming up with a session series. So there are 6 sessions she's gonna take, which is apart from the book. We wanted to introduce her book, but at the same time she's taking 6 sessions where she's gonna speak her mind. She's gonna share her wisdom with everyone and help all of us navigate a little bit our life and the self doubts that we have. And these are amazing sessions. I'm going to share the links in the chat box as well. And other than that, Rudani, I would love to ask, like, apart from you taking sessions series in Turkey, what else is there in your next? What's next? Are you coming up with a new book? What is that?
It's not sure yet. Maybe I'm still, analyzing the current, my debut
Yes.
book to, see how it goes, how,
Where can people
balance
check that?
between, huh?
Yeah. Where can people look for the book? Like where can
Yeah,
we buy it?
it's on Amazon. It's
Perfect. If you
available.
want
Yeah.
to share the link of Amazon
Yeah,
on the chat box, that will be great for
sure, sure.
whoever wants to look for that. I think that would be great for Rudrani. I would love some support for her. Other than that, Rudrani, I would love you to share few lines from the book so that people could understand what's there in the book and what they are, gonna what they can expect from the book.
Okay, so before reading a poem, I will, like to tell everyone about the title Bleeding Bangles because that alone, sort of confuses people. So, bleeding bangles means bangles that have been broken, that are smeared with the blood of a woman who has been violated, and those bangles that are kept, preserved by women rather than throwing them away. Because in India, it is considered that broken bangles should be thrown away because it is inauspicious for the family. But why should women, care always for the family's welfare when family is the one who is oppressing them? So that's how bleeding bangles, comes from. So let me recite a poem, which is my favorite, and I'll also tell you why. Okay, so yeah. Hmm. Doors shut, eerie silence prevailed. Hands ran down her body, violating the haven of Izzat. The sword brandished, dripping blood, the remains of murdering many other innocents, mutilating playful lives with trauma. This time, again, the sword bled, smearing her Izzat with indelible spots. But when the door opened, society stared. Her tears of lost innocence, lost trust were wiped, but not with empathy, but with rituals of purity, of baptism. Her wounds were covered by dupatta, her face concealed by makeup. Her wounds, trauma, damage turned into anger of revolution. Her tears speak her pain, her words invincible. Fire of rebel emblazoned her actions, the same fire that purified her. The lost Izzat she tried to earn again, narrating the reality behind the doors, negating the construed impurity of her Izzat, demanding the assassination of the sword, its sheath, its violence, its demon. However, her fight led to nothing. Isolated, criticized, locked up as the mad woman by those who valued Izzat of family, not the shameful silence on sexual harassment. Whose Izzat was lost, she wondered. Her, because she knew not violence but innocence, or theirs, who prefers silence over protecting the Izzat of the Izzat of family. So yeah, this was the poem, and this is
What
my
a
favorite
beautiful
poem.
poem. It's really, really beautiful. I would love for you to share the link of the book here.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'll do.
I'll pin it down. People, please, whoever are interested, please buy it. It's a wonderful book, and she has shared me the preview, so I've read it. So it's really, really intriguing to read some, piece by someone who has also come from a very small town, and at the same time she has achieved so much. I feel very motivated by that, and I am sure that whoever has joined the session, they might too. So thank you so much, Rudrani, for joining this session today. And if you have anything else to say, I would love to hear you out. And I'll at the same time, I'm gonna I'm gonna share the next session link on the chat box and pin it. So people, please mark interested and join her next session. She has some amazing things to say there as well.
If I have to say something, then just you know, a line maybe. Uh, Fighting against injustice is easy than suffering in ignorance. Uh, did you get it? I
It's
cannot hear. Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear it, and I think everybody understood it. That's why they are sharing their opinion as well. I was just sharing the link for the next session. This is
I'll
the
just share the book link also. Just give me
Okay,
a
please
minute.
do it. I'm going to pin it as well. Thank you so much for everyone joining, and I would love to hear if somebody has any questions. Rudani would love to take that question. You can unmute yourself and ask.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, just
Hi.
give me a moment. I'll just share the link for the book.
Yeah, you can ask
Sure,
the question, and meanwhile, Rudani can share the link.
sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Please, your question.
Hi. My name is
Yeah. Hi.
Shweta. Congratulations on your book, Rudrani ma'am. And
Thank you.
I really don't have a question, but rather people to think about. I mean, my viewpoint is like this, stating that do all these kind of the books based on femininity, females, and all. It's very nice, inspiring, and all that. But at the same time, on the other side of the coin, do we want others or do we want the other gender to, are we asking the other gender to fall pity on us? Do we want people to fall pity on us? No, right?
No.
Never. I don't think any female would be agreeing to do that.
No.
It's just, I mean, putting across our point of view and putting across the hardships or the struggles, or what is it that we have in our mind, or what is it that we are facing in our life. But too much of all these, sometimes we are inviting pity for our own self.
Okay, so
Okay.
thank
Uh,
you. Should I say?
yes, 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 of course.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so yeah, you're right. I mean, when we overdo anything, so it will be like, excess of everything is bad. So let me tell you one thing. Uh, Society always, runs behind what is unique. They always find what is new, what is positive, but they don't want to look on, the common things, common that is always, sidelined as, almost as non-existent. But similarly, I'm sure many of us here might have heard that women's oppression too is common. So people say कि ये तो होता है, सबके साथ होता है, you have to live with it. क्या करोगे, जेंट्स ऐसे ही होते. This is what
Yes,
many of us get
we
to
get to
hear.
know.
Yeah,
I mean, we hear this in most of the homes.
yeah, and so we like go with it, thinking it's okay, it's common. But then, if it is really common, then why don't people talk about it? Why don't, uh, for example, if a woman has been, has faced domestic violence and she's bruised all over, why does she hide herself? If it is common, she can go out, right? If it is common, people won't talk about. I know. I mean, if it is common, then why would people hesitate when it comes to nudity? Talking about nudity, when nudity is a part of so-called common cases of rape, right? So it's not common. Okay, people are not ready to acknowledge that they are also a part of this entire system. This silence is just a sort of blanket over this stigma, this fear, of, if because if they acknowledge it, if they say that this is wrong, then they have to unlearn the entire conditioning that has been indoctrinated into them. So when we talk about women's issues, when we talk about what women have faced, it is not to seek pity, but to show the reality that many people, including women, refuse to acknowledge. Like for example, marital rape. Marital rape is still not a crime in India. But when you go deep into how marital rape actually affects women, you will understand that it is actually a crime.
Yeah, and Rudari, I would like to add one thing that when we are talking and sharing our stories,
Hmm.
let's not forget we are not asking people to have pity on us. We are asking them to empathize with us and
Yeah,
change the surrounding. If somebody is pitying us, that's their emotion. They can do whatever they want, but it's very important to share stories so that people understand where we are coming from. And I would say in today's generation, I think things are little changed because mothers and sisters have made a point, even fathers have made a point of bringing their son in a certain way so that they are not causing harm to the society, but it's still there. And as I said, people can't even make say a difference between wrong and right anymore. So it's very important to share a story so that people can empathize and can, if there is even a small red flag, they can raise that ki like, hey, that's not okay. That's very important. So thank you so much, Shweta, for asking the question. It was very interesting question. And Rudrani, we are already over time. So I have to close the session, unfortunately. But everyone, please mark interest in the next session. Rudrani will be there. She'll share her wisdom, and that's I think that's very interesting point of view. What's coming from Rudrani. So I would love everyone here to join that session. I'm going to close the recording. Other than that, whoever had the question about the recordings, so in Herky, when you go to the feed, you can check the Watch Now section where all the recordings get uploaded. So we have recorded this session because Rudrani wanted this session to be recorded. And yes, I'll share the screen. I'll explain once I close the recording. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much, Rudrani, for this session.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I can leave, Bhumika?